What if the perfect American family wasn't immune to tragedy? They made us laugh, they taught us lessons, and for a while, it felt like they'd always be there.
Theodore,
My name's Beaver.
Beaver? Is that your given name?
Yes, ma'am. My brother given it to me.
Well, in the classroom, I'd better call you Theodore.
From the wise and steady Ward Cleaver to the curious charm of young Beaver himself, these faces became icons of a simpler time.
Really, I didn't.
I know you didn't, Beaver.
But time has a way of catching up to even the most timeless shows. This is Leave It to Beaver cast who died. Wendell Holmes wasn't one of the central stars of Leave It to Beaver, but his face was a familiar one to fans. He played several roles throughout the series: Mr. Blair, Mr. Hargrove, Andy Hadlock, and Mr. T.J. Willett. That kind of versatility was common in classic TV, where dependable actors filled in the fabric of the community. Holmes had that quality: solid, believable, and easy to trust.
No, Beaver, I've been on ships that was cold before, but none as cold as this. Why, it was so cold that the flames in the galley stove froze stiff.
Boy, oh boy.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yeah, we had to thaw him out with a blowtorch before we could heat up our chow.
Sadly, in 1962, he died of a heart attack at just 47. His passing came only a few years after the show premiered, and while his name may not have been as big as the Cleavers, he was part of what made the world of Mayfield feel authentic. Holmes left behind a strong body of television work, but for Beaver fans, he'll always be remembered as one of the familiar neighbors who made the show feel like home. Few characters made as big an impression on Leave It to Beaver as Miss Alice Landers, Beaver's beloved schoolteacher. Played by Sue Randall, Miss Landers was patient, kind, and had just the right mix of authority and warmth. For many viewers, she embodied the ideal teacher, the kind everyone wished they had growing up.
I want you to take it home tonight and have your father indicate whether he will be able to attend or will not be able to attend. Is that clear?
Randall brought elegance and sincerity to the role, which helped balance the kids' antics with lessons of empathy and responsibility. She continued acting in television through the 60s before stepping away from Hollywood.
What do you think we should do about those boys up in that tree?
You mean you saw him?
Oh, quite a while ago.
Well, I didn't have anything to do with it, Miss Landers. Really, I didn't.
I know you didn't, Beaver.
Hey, what do you suppose they're talking about?
Sadly, Sue Randall's life was cut short in 1984 when she died of lung cancer at only 49. She left behind memories of a character who wasn't flashy but quietly vital to the show's success. To Beaver and his classmates, she was more than a teacher. She was a role model. And to audiences, she still is. If you remember Beaver's gang of friends, you'll remember Whitey, the mischievous boy who always seemed to nudge Beaver into trouble. Played by Stanley Fafara, Whitey had that sly smile and knack for stirring up mischief while leaving Beaver to deal with the consequences. He wasn't mean, just a kid being a kid, and fans loved him for it.
She sent you because she's your sweetheart. I bet you'll be the only boy going. Of course I won't. I bet you there'll be a lot of guys going. A whole lot.
Fafara appeared in dozens of episodes, becoming one of Beaver's most recognizable sidekicks. But life after the show wasn't easy. He struggled outside of Hollywood, facing personal challenges that many child actors know all too well.
A picnic is where you go out in the country and eat food off the dirt.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
In 2003, Fafara died at just 54 from complications following hernia surgery. Though his adult years were difficult, fans still remember him as Whitey, the grinning troublemaker who helped make Beaver's adventures so relatable. His story is a reminder of how deeply those childhood roles stick with us. Before Miss Landers came along, Beaver had another beloved teacher, Miss Canfield, played by Diane Brewster. Elegant and kind, she appeared in the earliest seasons of Leave It to Beaver, helping set the tone for the wholesome classroom stories that became a hallmark of the show.
Theodore,
My name's Beaver.
Beaver? Is that your given name?
Yes, ma'am. My brother given it to me.
Well, in the classroom, I'd better call you Theodore.
Brewster was no stranger to classic television. She also starred in Maverick and The Fugitive, and her talent gave her a steady career throughout the 50s and 60s. But to Beaver fans, she was remembered most for her gentle guidance in those formative early episodes.
Well, Beaver, you could put these books on the desk for tomorrow. I have to take this down the hall.
Yes, Miss Canfield.
Sadly, Diane Brewster died in 1991 at age 60 from heart failure. Though her time on Leave It to Beaver was short, she set the template for what Beaver's teachers would represent: patience, understanding, and a guiding hand. She remains an important part of the show's foundation. Every sitcom needs a foil, and for Leave It to Beaver, it was Fred Rutherford, Wally and Beaver's friend's pompous, overconfident father. Played by Richard Deacon, Fred was pompous, full of bluster, and often hilariously self-important. Deacon nailed the role, bringing just the right amount of arrogance to make him funny without being unlikable.
Oh, I paid your partner for the newspaper last week.
I'm not the paper boy. I'm Beaver Cleaver, and I want to see Violet Rutherford.
Oh, just a minute.
Outside of Beaver, Deacon had a huge career in TV comedy, appearing in The Dick Van Dyke Show and countless others. He was one of those character actors who seemed to pop up everywhere in the golden age of television.
Alan? Yes! Do you want them on white bread or rye? Rye bread. Corned beef on white bread? Corned beef on white bread? Where were you brought up? Where did you live?
In 1984, Deacon died of cardiovascular disease at 62. Fans mourned not just the loss of a familiar face, but of one of the great comedic supporting actors of his era. On Leave It to Beaver, Fred Rutherford gave Mayfield a touch of ridiculousness that still makes fans smile. Cheryl Holdridge came in to Leave It to Beaver as Julie Foster, one of Wally's girlfriends, and instantly charmed audiences. She had the classic girl-next-door look and the kind of natural charisma that made her a perfect fit for Wally's world of teenage crushes and growing pains.
Wally, do you think you'll be getting a new homeroom next term or staying in the old homeroom?
Well, Mr. Haller says we might get a new homeroom, or we might stay in the old homeroom. It's kind of like the sweatsuits.
Before Beaver, Holdridge was one of the original Mouseketeers on the Mickey Mouse Club, so she was already familiar to American households. Her time on Beaver was brief, but memorable, giving Wally a love interest that fans could root for.
Oh, Wally, I never knew you were like this.
You know something? Neither did I.
In 2009, Cheryl Holdridge died of lung cancer at 64. Though her role on Leave It to Beaver was small compared to others, she represents the innocence of those teen storylines, moments of puppy love that made the show relatable to young viewers. She'll always be remembered as part of Wally's growing up years. Frank Wilcox was one of those actors who gave Mayfield a sense of authority. He played multiple roles on Leave It to Beaver, from judge to doctor to businessman. Each time he brought a commanding presence that reminded audiences this was a real community, filled with everyday professionals shaping the Cleavers' world.
Well, you may think of it as just a toy, but the law defines a motor vehicle, and this is undoubtedly a vehicle with a motor on it.
Wilcox had a long Hollywood career, appearing in everything from I Love Lucy to Perry Mason. His versatility meant he could fit into any storyline, adding depth even in short scenes. In 1974, Wilcox died of a heart attack at 66. Though not a central figure, his recurring roles helped build the believable backdrop that made Leave It to Beaver feel authentic. He was one of those steady, unsung character actors who quietly shaped the golden age of television, and Mayfield wouldn't have been the same without him. Every show needs comic relief, and Frank Bank delivered it perfectly as Clarence "Lumpy" Rutherford. Awkward, lovable, sometimes a bully but never truly mean, Lumpy was one of Wally and Beaver's most memorable foils. He stumbled his way through schoolyard antics, creating situations that gave the Cleavers plenty to deal with.
I'll be cheering for you, Clarence.
I'll walk you to your class.
Oh, you don't have to. Clarence is right across the aisle from me.
Fans loved him because deep down, Lumpy wasn't bad, just clumsy and insecure, which made him relatable. Frank Bank carried that role with perfect timing, making him one of the show's most enduring side characters. After acting, Bank went on to have a successful career as a stockbroker, but for fans, he would always be Lumpy. When he died in 2013 at age 71 and the cause remained undisclosed, the Leave It to Beaver family lost one of its most beloved comic personalities. His presence brought laughter to Mayfield, and still does. They brought warmth, humor, and heart into American homes. And long after the cameras stopped rolling, their legacy endured. But behind the smiles and family values were real people, with real stories, and final chapters we'll never forget. Which Leave It to Beaver star left the biggest mark on your childhood? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more tributes to the stars we've lost. We'll continue honoring TV legends from the past in upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.